The big launch of the Illuvium public beta is happening on November 28th, and there is already 1.5 million players who have registered for it. This is everything you need to know. So before the Illuvium public beta launches on the Epic Game Store, we want to cover the 3 main game modes as well as a few key details that you need to know before you participate. So first off, it's important to know that Illuvium is an open world RPG game with the 3 game elements. The first is Overworld. This is the open world exploration RPG style game where you can see these beautiful, incredible graphics and have that really immersive gaming experience. And what's so huge in crypto gaming is so far there's really been nothing to conquer that AAA from, your traditional Web 2 space. Whereas now we're seeing that this might be the start of what really brings us closer to adoption, because we finally have one of those AAA titles in Web 3. So now when it comes to that adoption, there's 2 main things in mind. One, is the game amazing and fun to play and you really enjoy and want to come back for more? And 2, we want to talk about digital assets. So those in-game digital assets that you earn, we want to make sure it's interoperable between the 3 games, but along with that, we also have the speculation of the Illuvium token. For instance, if you've been following us throughout this bear market, we were talking about it when it was in the high 30s. Now it's already above 80, but there's still a massive opportunity here because of where it used to be. Now, this isn't an investment video and it's always important to do your own research, but we're going to touch on it a little bit because of the way the game is built out and the exciting future it has. Now, you can't talk about Illuvium without covering the massive team it has. And since 2020, they've grown to over 150 employees building this game at a massive scale. Illuvium was founded in 2020 by CEO Kieran Warwick, game designer Aaron Warwick, and art director Grant Warwick. And it emerged from their vision of creating a blockchain-based gaming ecosystem like no other. In March 2021, Illuvium set a record with their public sale by trading over $90 million. Now though, let's dive into these 3 game modes and quickly cover everything you need to know. First up, the Illuvium Overworld. Here is where you can explore and capture over 100 alluvial creatures with unique powers. It's an adventure with 7 stunning regions to discover, use energy to stay and capture cool NFTs, and customize your character in this open world exploration. Registrations are open for beta. Now let's talk about Illuvium Arena. This is where the battler comes in, similar to what you'd see in the auto battler mechanics of League of Legends. So once you've collected those Illuvials from Overworld, you can bring them over to the arena and test them for battle. Think of this as more of like a Pokemon style battle, but with a little bit more strategy. Go to the ranked arena for competitive battles, Leviathan arena for betting, and survival arena for PvE challenges. So now we're gearing up for that public beta launch coming to the Epic Game Store of the PvP Battle Arena. This feature promises intense battles, strategy, and a chance to prove your skills in the Illuvium universe. Now, this is where it gets really exciting because early glimpses of this public beta is blowing people away, and their trailer was mind-blowing. Now, the 3rd main game mode is Illuvium Zero, and that's available to play on mobile. It's more where you have that crafting element to the game, and it's a little bit more simple gameplay. But what this does, it allows you to craft those digital assets which are interoperable and transferable among these 3 main games. So here you can farm resources on your NFT land plots, and these resources help your Illuvials evolve, and they can be traded on the marketplace for kind of a source of passive income. Their goal is kind of that chill Farmville style, but with integration into Web 3. So those are the 3 main game modes everybody is talking about now, but they're also developing a 4th. This is Illuvium Beyond, and it's going to bring card collecting madness to their ecosystem. This is a collectible card game where you can collect Illuvatars, which can be used for profile pictures or in the in-game adventure world, and become a part of how you present yourself in-game. And it's not just cards, it's a whole competitive experience with leaderboards and rankings. Now for the in-game economy. Now this is so crucial because it can make or break games. If you were around in early 2020, throughout the 2021 gaming ecosystem, you saw the big rise of Axie Infinity. It was so explosive, the NFTs were worth so much, the token was worth so much, but then what you started to see is when the value became so high, there was so much more sell pressure. And the way they built the economy was using guilds where they would get players from around the world to play for money, not just play for fun. And so when you're playing for money, the whole purpose is for you to get the token and then transition it back into dollars or the currency of your country. But what that creates is a massive ecosystem of purpose-built sell pressure every time these players get their tokens. So in theory, their idea to pay players with it was good, but when you look at a whole game's economy, it ends up crushing it if they're taking all that value from the gaming ecosystem and moving it back into a home currency. Although it looks like Illuvium has learned so many lessons and they've done an amazing job with their in-game economy. First off, we have the ILV token, which is their main game token, but they also use ETH for in-game purchases. And if you're a fan of staking, they even have a few clever options for you. And instead of fully diluting with staking what some other projects do, they have a buyback mechanism which they've built into their vault. In this video, we're gonna keep it a little bit more short and sweet, so we're not gonna go into all the details, but what is really impressive is they're looking at so much more just than beyond this specific title. So within this specific title, they do have buybacks and things like that, but they've created a vault that they wanna use for their entire ecosystem going forward. Whether they use intellectual property, they come up with future games, future movies, or things like that. All of these mechanisms put money or ETH back into the vault, and they're going to be using that over the years to come to buy back the Illuvium token and give staking rewards that way. So instead of just diluting the token over and over again, they already have massive plans for bringing in new money into their ecosystem. And then other than staking, the purposes of the ILV token are to be used in the in-game economy. You can do things like purchases, and they're also using it as a governance token so the DAO can lead the ecosystem going forward. But it doesn't end with their token mechanics there either, because you can also burn your ILV token to create an in-game SILV2 token. You can use these ILV2 tokens to participate and buy more things in the game. Now, the token ecosystem and their economy is so vast and really impressive. If you want to dive more into it, make sure you go to Funjible.Games and check out our articles there, because we cover a lot more on our website. Now, in a couple minutes, we're going to cover what it's like to be an investor, what you can kind of expect for the future predictions of this game and this token. But for now though, let's talk about the players. Let's say you want to get involved in crypto gaming to have your chance at earning a little bit of money as a side gig, or just to have some fun, but also nice to know that there's money coming in as well. So what's great about this is you get to participate in strategic battles, build up your team by playing the game, and then as you build up your team from your hours of gameplay, you can participate in battles and get these ILV tokens as rewards. Now for this ILV token, a couple months ago, it was worth in the 30s, now it's worth in the 80s, and at the top, it was worth almost $1,800. So if you are that type of player who wants to grind it out for a little bit of passive income on the side while you're having fun, Illuvium provides that opportunity for you as well. And there's also another way that they haven't announced yet, so we can't say what it is publicly, but for the future of gaming around the world and people watching people game, Illuvium has some massive stuff planned. Now, if you're going to participate in their whole ecosystem, you're going to want to learn how to mint these Illuvium NFTs. So in this game, Illuvium uses shards to capture NFTs, and there's different kinds of shards depending on the NFT you want. Start your journey by exploring the Illuvium world, battling Illuvials, and collecting resources. Combine 2 Illuvials strategically, and once fused, you're ready to mint. And here, minting is like giving birth, where you're going to create a brand new Illuvial with its own unique skills. And after you've created this new unique Illuvial, you can choose, do you want to use this powerful Illuvial in battles to help you win, or do you want to have the opportunity to make a little bit of money back and sell it in their marketplace? And now it's time to dive into what's happening with the Illuvium token right now and what you could potentially expect in the future. Now, it's really important to take note here that this is in no way, shape, or form financial advice. We love covering games here at Funjible.Games, and in Web3, it just so happens that there's NFTs, digital assets, and in-game tokens. So without further ado, let's dive into the Illuvium token here. So if we look at the chart on CoinMarketCap and we want to look in 1 month, we can see this has gone over a 2x from 46 to over 100 right now. But if we zoom out to the full chart here, we can see that it crossed over $1,800 in the late stages of 2021 during that gaming bull run. Now here is reported the total supply of 7.889 million Illuvial tokens. If you go into their tokenomics, which I encourage that you do so you can see how the vesting schedule and everything works. However, they have a total supply of 10 million Illuvium tokens. Now, one main thing that we look at when we're investing in tokens tokens is the circulating supply. So what I like to do here is see how much is actually out. And now, as we're looking here, there's 3.7 million out of almost 8 million. So that's about half the token supply still needs to be vested. That means 50% of the supply based on this recording, or only 37 based on the 10 million tokens has been vested. So we have a lot still to dilute. So that means if the market doesn't see a lot of money coming into it, then people are going to sell, and this sell pressure is going to drive the token price down. But let's just dive into what we see here. So as you can see, for the past year, Illuvium has been trading close to 40. A few times it was in the 30s. So if you were like us, congratulations, picking it up in the bear market. It was quite nice. But now let's see where we are now. At $100, that's an 18x to the all-time high. Now, a lot of people say, okay, no matter what, we're going back to the all-time high and beyond. And of course, no one has a crystal ball and can tell the future. The only thing I think about things like that is in that time when the token price was exploding, the whole market was super excited. Bitcoin was just at an all-time high. So there's a lot of new money coming into this space. But the thing with the circulating supply, it was really small. And when the circulating supply is really small, it's really easy for a token price to skyrocket because there's so little supply available. And when you're buying tokens, the price goes up with supply and demand. The smaller supply you have, the way faster the token price goes up. That being said, this is still a really impressive project, and we're just coming off over a year bear market on it. So if you are an investor, you're looking at a token with an 18x to that. However, we never know what's going on with macro economy and if things are going to start crashing in 2024. So we can't give you any specific advice or anything other than simply say that this is definitely one that we're looking into. And of course, as this game continues to develop more, make sure you subscribe to Funjible Games. And of course, this story is going to continue to develop more. We're going to cover it on our website after the launch on the 28th and continue to give you updates on our website, Funjible Games, as well as here on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, we'd appreciate a like, a subscribe, and a bell notification, because we're going to be bringing you a lot more from Illuvium, as well as the games that you may not have heard of. For instance, we've been talking about Decimated for a while now, and if you were able to participate in that, it stayed at its private sale price for almost the last 7 months, and just recently in the last 2 months has 10x. So congratulations if you were a part of that. But for now, thank you so much for watching this Illuvium video. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. And of course, we're going to see you in the next video.